there's a little picture of a girl and boy here that Miriam doesn't like so much, but what happened when I first traveled through India with my father in 2003, we took a lot of photos. And yes, we went to some really places where, you know, we saw poor people and stuff like that, but when we came back to the United States and we put the film for development, this picture emerged. So when we looked at this picture, we said, well, wait a minute. Everyone was saying, what's wrong with this picture? I mean, it almost looks like a National Geographic snapshot, okay? Which it was. Now I do recall, if when I checked back, that the train was running through from Calcutta to a place called Danba in Vihara, and these little kids would run up to the train asking for donation. But I say that the reason this picture came out is because there must be a higher calling. It couldn't just be a 1 rupee or 2 rupee donation they were asking for. Here you have two child who represents the future, okay, asking for something greater. So it kind of inspired me that, you know, as a sustainable development practitioner here in New York, who also has an interest in working on these development and poverty issues, what is it I could do? What little bit I can do? And I don't know what that little bit was until I landed in India and I saw the opportunity to converge all my experiences into this project. So what happened, those prior experiences were, I worked in sync with the energy sector industry here, trying to develop a risk management model where we could evaluate risk carbon. It's called energy economic carbon risk associated with certain decisions. For example, when we build a skyscraper in Manhattan, a skyscraper is going to contribute certain impacts that is causing climate change and global warming. I designed a tool that can help decision makers see what those risks are and make certain adjustments in their planning to avoid those risks. And the other thing is, with my sustainable development background, I was approached by the Association of Haitian Engineers to help conceive a sustainable development non-conventional Marshall Plan for the incoming government of Haiti in 2006 after they had that democratic instability. Now, this stimulated some interest within the Caribbean community and within Haiti, and you know, it eventually got written into a paper that was presented in South Africa. But the works from these two models, I didn't really think it had any application in India. It's only when I was offered a position in Calcutta for the building of the Calcutta Metro Rail, they offered me a position at my former employer to come down there and support the environmental and safety and sustainability aspects. I said, yeah, why not? You know, change is good. Let me go see. It might help me plant myself in India and see what best can do, you know, what best can emerge in terms of me being able to travel more frequently through India and to Bihar, the place of my forefathers, and see what I can do to help these people. So, conceivably, the Bihar project really was started when we took this picture of this boy and girl here, as you see. So when I landed in India, I ran into a gentleman by the name of Vinu Tiwari. Now, Vinu Tiwari is, I don't know, it seems like he's from some God-sent organization, but he's not into material stuff, and you know, he's just a caring person. He cares for his community and stuff, and he offered me the opportunity to come to Bihar, to a village, to a city called Balia in UP. So I was a little scared at first, you know, venturing out into the village, away from the things I'm accustomed to, you know, we stayed at the hotel overall. So he said, don't worry, I'll take care of you. I said, Vinu, where's the closest hotel? He said, don't worry. he meant to say there's no hotel in that village. So I got to the village. The village is a very dynamic but yet tranquil and peaceful and beautiful place. There's no electricity. If there is electricity, it probably comes for like 30 minutes a day. There's no running water. No running water. There's no television. There's no refrigerator. There's no cold drinks. There's no supermarkets. There's nothing you can think about. If you need food, you cook it on the spot. You eat. You can't keep it. You can't store it. So this is sustainability at its best. Your milk comes from a cow. Okay? You can't get better. So that was my first experience in the village, sleeping out in the open under a tree in what they call it, no, not katya, huh? Yeah. I slept on, yeah. Anyway, so Vinod took the opportunity to go examine the rural sector. He's showing me the fields. I don't know. I can't figure out what's going on, but I'm trying to look for an entry point. And then eventually, upon my second visit, he introduced me to his uncle, who's an economist. So his uncle saw me reading his paper, which I was trying to collect, correct, make changes for submittal to the journal for publication. His uncle took the paper and started to read it, and he said, "Where did this paper come from? Who wrote this?" He said, "These are economic ideas we need out here in rural sector to help these people. These farmers have been crying for generations. They've been stuck in a cycle of poverty and that they can't get out of." So he started to throw ideas at me. He said, "Listen, I'm going to read this paper and come back to you tomorrow." He read the paper overnight. He came back the next day, and then he converged a meeting with the village chief and some of the initial farmers. The initial meeting was seven farmers in total, including the village chief. And at first they were very apprehensive. They were a little frightened about, absorbing some of these measures, such as to close trade disparities and all these things, get rid of the middleman. They think these things may backfire on them, and if it backfires, it will not be in their best interest. So what happened is, over the months, this thing grew from seven farmers to we probably have over 700 farmers right now. It's grown from one village to over 100 village scope. The Vihara project is just taking roots. So the Vihara project is really a three-pronged approach. What we're doing is we're taking farmers that are in small landholdership that can marginally sustain themselves, okay? And we're aggregating them into a big landholding parcel, 500 hectares, which will become the testing base for this initiative. Because when you go from a little lot here and a little lot there and a little lot there, and you make one big aggregate parcel, you're able to implement efficiencies in the whole system. You're able to better plan crops to meet market needs, etc. You find more efficiency in application of fertilization, irrigation, and all these different things. You find more efficiency in. And more than that is when you aggregate all these landholders into a big landmass, into a cooperative structure, you're better able to negotiate investments. So what we realize is the second prong is this notion of creative financing. We realize that with this large landholding, 500 hectares, we're able to assess what the base productivity is, and then assess what the real